Yo, what's up, guys? It's me, Angel, and I wanted to make a short video today about some recent events that happened with Sony and how they're shutting down Blue Point Studios. And I wanted to read this article by Kotaku, which they're also very reliable with their gaming sources. But let's get into this first paragraph. And I'll also give context along the way. Sony is shutting Blue Point Games down just 5 years after buying it. Herman Hulse said the decision was the result of an increasingly challenging industry environment in a note to staff on Thursday. It's a shocking end for a studio that Holst himself admits delivered exceptional experiences for the PlayStation community, and it comes despite a recent jump in profits for Sony gaming division. Now, Blue Point Games was, I think, it was founded in 2006 or 2008 as a studio, and it was acquired by Sony in 2021. And Herman Holst is basically the guy at Sony or PlayStation that gives a green light on this type of stuff. So when he says it's shocking end for the studio, no, he knows, and you can't just say and comes despite of recent jumps in profits for Sony's gaming division. It sounds like Microsoft to me. But let's keep reading this. I wanted to share an update from the studio business. The message, a copy of which was viewed by Kotaku, began. As I mentioned in December Town Hall, 2025 had some strong highlights within PlayStation Studios. Ghost of Yotei launched with critical and commercial success. Death Stranding 2 on the beach further showcased our commitment to narrative excellence, and Helldivers 2, the MLB show, continued to drive ongoing players' engagement and revenue. These games are doing good, can't lie, you know. There may some had I feel like had a slow start, but it says he also continued. It says at the same time we're operating in an increasingly challenging industry environment. Rising development costs slowed industry growth, changing player behavior, and broader economic headwinds are making it harder to build games sustainability. No, you just don't know how to run the fucking company. You don't know how to develop time or give time to the right things. You know, rising development costs. It shouldn't look at indie games. Look at there's a reason why double A's and indie games are very popular and they're making a ton of money. So let's keep reading. To navigate this reality, we need to continue adapting and evolving. We've taken a closer look at our business to ensure we're delivering today while still well positioned for the future. As a result, we will be closing Blue Point Games in March. Okay, it sounds like if you gave me this right here and tell me if it was Xbox or PlayStation, I would tell you it was an Xbox because that sounds like what the hell they would do with their studios. Let's keep reading. This decision was not made lightly. Bluepoint is an incredibly talented team, and their technical expertise has delivered exceptional experiences for the PlayStation community. I want to thank everyone at Bluepoint for their creativity, craftsmanship, and commitment to quality. Where possible, we will work to find opportunities for some impacted employees with our global network studios. You know, this is just to save face, in my opinion. This is just to save face, and I'll get into it a little bit later, but well, I know this is hard news to hear. I'm confident in the direction we're headed. Creativity, innovation, and building unforgettable experiences for players remain at the heart of PlayStation Studios. We have a robust roadmap for the year 2026, which much to look forward to in the months ahead. Thank you for all your hard work and continued support. Okay, well, I don't think this means anything. The message would likely give some fans a feeling of whiplash. It mentions the need for tough cost cutting before immediately praising Bluepoint's work. Its most recent games, a PS5 remake of Demon Souls and PS4 remake of Shadow of Colossus, were both critically acclaimed. Sony reported in 2021 that Demon Souls sold 1.4 million copies in the hardware launch year. So Bluepoint was basically a studio that was really good at making remakes to all classics. Okay, and when you have a studio like that, you would think you would want to have that studio focus on remakes, especially with your own gaming catalog, you know? But it's so stupid. Let's keep reading. Instead of continuing to have Bluepoint remaster or remake popular classics, a strategy which was proven very lucrative for Capcom with Resident Evil and Bethesda with the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, the Texas-based studio was put on a live service spin-off of God of War, which ended up being canceled or canned in early 2025. The great irony now is that Sony is finally remaking the original God of War trilogy, but is about to close the most obvious candidate for the job. Bluepoint was one of the co-development partners in on 2020 God of War Ragnarok. And let me just say this. I think the reason why Sony is doing this too is because they decided that it's safer to make remakes. Why are we gonna spend more money on studios where we can have the original studio remake the game? Whereas if that original studio could be making a new game, whether it's another God of War or it's another project. But no, we have to go to remakes. And again, like the article just said right here. It's ironic that you have a studio who's very well known for remakes is not getting the keys to make a remake for the PS5, and Santa Monica is going to make a remake. Like it makes no sense to me. Why the fuck are we doing this? I don't understand. And again, this sounds like, and we're seeing the success. Like it says right here, Resident Evil and Bethesda with Elder Scrolls. Like it makes no sense to me, and that's why I think this shit's happening. And personally, I don't care if they remake the game, but the fact that if they're gonna change the whole game, then it's just pointless. No one's gonna buy that crap, in my opinion. And let's keep reading. And despite larger industry headwinds, Sony recently posted impressive profits while overall sales across the gaming division were down year over year. Profits for PlayStation last quarter rose 19%. It even revised its forecast for the current quarter upwards. Blue, Bluepoint is the third recently acquired game studio Sony has shuttered in the last 2 years. The fact that we're thinking that live service games are really the future, they're not. Like you Xbox and Sony are not known, in my opinion, for full live service games. Like they're just not. You had IPs, and when it comes to Sony case, like you had old school IPs, and the fact that we're working on goddamn live service games, like really, like people are tired of that shit. Like the only people that will be playing that is the people between. Ugh, I can't even talk. I'm so mad at this. Between the ages of 16 to probably 21, where they barely got money anyway going for them. And the fact that we want to pivot to live service games and give crap serve on a platter, like it makes no sense to me that all this talent that you're getting rid of because you're going to lay off the studio. And keep in mind, the studio shutting down completely. Where you had a golden goose of a studio that is capable of making remakes of your catalog, and you're telling me you're gonna let them go because the business decision was to do it and it was a smart move. It's more of the arrows going up. How do we lower cost? It's the arrow going up. Yeah, we're making good profits, but we gotta lay you off. It sucks. And Herman Holst has been abysmal. Has been ignorant onto what actual people want, and I'm getting sick of this shit. I really am. So yeah, guys, I thought I'd bring you a short video and talk about this because if this is the way we're gonna go now, you're gonna see games take years to be made, whereas it took 2 to 3 years to make a new game. Because we got to think that higher graphics and remaking and telling the story on repeat over and over again is the way to go. So I pray for this industry. I really do, and I hope indie games and double A games really, really show that you don't need to spend 7 to 8 years to make a game for it to later be canceled. So yeah, and it's also gonna suck if Sony becomes also like Microsoft, which how they're doing, which will be another video for another time. But I want to thank y'all for stopping by. If you guys like the video, please like, subscribe, and catch y'all later. Peace.